Yeah, that one.
Always? Oh.
Yeah, always.
Always. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Welcome to Colorful Anime, where we talk about anime from a colorful perspective.
Yeah.
So excited to be with my homies, Hakim,
Yes, sir.
Kris,
Hi.
and Jordan. Yo. And if you are not subscribed to our YouTube, get it done. Well, what are you waiting for? We need the support, guys.
It's fun to watch the shenanigans like in person, you know, like.
Oh yeah, no, I watch them back obviously, because I edit like most of it. This is the funnest stuff, like the video stuff. Subscribe to our podcast anywhere podcasts can be heard. Follow us on Instagram. Follow our Facebook page where things get popping. There's a Discord. I don't even know if we should give you the Discord unless you following us on all the other stuff.
I mean, if they want to get into, because we have some fun conversations in the Discord, don't we, Kris?
We do. We do. Listen, I wreak havoc sometimes, and it's because I enjoy the chaos.
We haven't noticed.
But we have fun. We have fun.
The Chaos Queen / Best Girl / Binge God /
I'm getting a lot of titles from this, y'all.
You begin to what?
I said I'm getting a lot of titles.
Yeah, you have.
This.
No, you got to get like a. You need the WWE or WWF. I was raised in the 90s. WWF belts with all the different titles. That's what you need for each binge god. All of those things. Best anime girl that isn't in the anime. All of them. So we're back, and we our main topic we're not gonna get to quite yet because it's gonna be so great. But I just wanted to know from y'all what's going on in the anime streets. What have y'all heard? What have y'all been listening to?
We touched on this before we started recording, but the movies that are coming out.
Jesus.
Who was it? Was it you that mentioned the Demon Slayer movie, or was it?
Was it me?
Because I mentioned the My Hero movie.
Who's
but
on first? Sorry.
The first movie did really well, right? And now they're
the
like
Mugen Train one, I think.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. When are they gonna let us watch that?
I think I heard it's like April or May. I think is when it's releasing in the United States. I think it might be either this month or next month. But
I wonder if they're
it's
gonna
blowing up worldwide though. Like
I wonder if they're gonna drop that off of HBO Max.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, right.
Probably.
I need that.
I'm subscribed
I got that.
now.
Yeah, I was like, I got that.
I was forced by Justice League.
Yo, what did you think of
boy.
Justice League? I mean, I know we're not gonna talk a whole lot about it.
I thought it was the complete story of what it should have been with those characters.
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of the DC hero movies, but
yeah.
I think it was the best with what they had at the time.
Right.
You know what cracks me up though is like anytime I hear somebody complain about the length of a movie,
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not a real fan because those of us that enjoys movies want as much as possible.
All
Like
of the content,
if it could
all
be
of
a
it.
10-hour movie, like I'm
We'd
down.
watch it, yeah.
I am down. Don't take anything out. Like,
Yeah.
give
Like,
it,
I get
give
it
it all to us.
Like, I don't need like a 10-hour rom-com, but like a
No,
comic
but
book
like
movie,
comic book
Yeah.
movies,
origin stories. I give you all that. Like, I
I
need
think
all
it
of
was egregious that the director that they ended up picking decided to cut like all the niggas from the movie.
Yeah, he cut everybody out the movie.
how the hell do you even do that movie
Yeah.
without old boy? Like
Yeah.
how like that he could even conceive that he could do the movie without giving that boy his limelight.
I loved his story too. Like, I love his origin
It
story.
was essential to like the entire plot.
It was.
And I didn't hate Lois Lane as much in this one because
She was in it very little.
boy, the way they contrived her being in the other one, I was like, what is this bullshit? What is this? But then the way they did it, it made more sense. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll allow this in my brain. Like I can jump on board this train. It's cuter. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate the Cyborg story. I like the comic relief. I told you I was telling you this before, but I think the only person that I had beef with, what is that? Sound creepy.
There's a ghost in the
right.
in the headphone.
Lord have mercy. Oh, right. Only one I had beef with was Aquaman. So Aquaman was trash.
Yeah, he was pretty useless.
Yeah, I'm like, what
you
you
mean in the
do?
movie?
Yeah.
You about to swim up to
But his
Superman? What you
whole-
gonna do?
Right. But
Superman
his whole
put the-
thing, it like going back to his world and stuff made more sense in this one.
Yeah,
Because in the other one, you're just like, and now we're underwater because
right.
I don't understand. But this one, they fleshed all that. And maybe it's just because they had more time that they
Right.
were able to flesh all that out more. Maybe I shouldn't be as hard on the other director, but also the other director
He's a
delivered
creep,
a
man.
trash movie.
And he's a creep, so it is what it is.
Wait, what's funny? Why you say he's a creep?
Whedon?
Yeah, what'd he do?
Oh, you didn't hear about all that behind the scenes stuff with Whedon?
Nah.
What?
I
didn't hear
this
that.
ain't
What's
your
up?
first time hearing this. is
Yeah.
it?
What
This is
what
my
happened?
I know
First-
nobody
what went
wanted to
down?
work with him after the movie was
Yeah,
over.
and then he got like all the Me Too stuff that happened to him as well. So he
Oh,
had
really?
the
Oh.
work stuff, and then he had like the other creepy stuff that happened.
So
And
like, yeah, to like most people nowadays,
Was
or
that-
most celebrities.
Is there a conspiracy out there that was a ploy to get the Snyder cut?
Well, apparently, like with the whole thing with Snyder is like they would have went with him had he stepped down on his own volition
Yeah.
because his daughter had committed suicide, and so he's like, yo, I can't. My head ain't in this.
Yeah.
But they would have kept him because everybody loved working with Snyder. Like everybody, it's funny. Like it's funny that we got the old. So this is the same movie essentially with some reshoots, and so like I saw like a behind the scenes thing, and they were like, "Man, we had such a good like Gal Gadot and all them. Yeah, man, such a good time working with Zach. Man, he's just a good dude, man." And so I'm like, it's the same movie, man. Like it wasn't that much different work.
Yeah.
It's funny.
But anyways, but I like the movie a lot. Yeah. With that, should we get to our main topic? Did I miss anything?
Let's just jump into it, man.
We can go for it.
Well, we talking about Hakim.
We talking about the I think what's gonna go down as one of the greatest animes of our time, and that's Attack on Titan. How do you feel
No,
about that?
I don't disagree. Like
I was gonna
after
say,
seeing
let's
this
get it
season,
started.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but we gonna get to that.
hmm I will say, I feel like it took 2 seasons to kind of build up to where it's at. I think season 3 was the tipping point of like,
Yeah.
all right, this is a really, really good anime.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So we I was gonna say, should we like major like plaster spoilers all over this
Yes.
here? So
Oh,
like
no. Spoiler
anybody
alert.
listening or
Spoilers
watching this
galore.
right now, this is mad spoilers for what's going on right now in Attack on Titan /
let me-
theories for what will happen.
Yeah, let me kind of give background before you hop back into it. Like, we review anime shows. I don't know any way to review a show without telling you what happened in the show.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to do it. It's never gonna happen. But anyways, back to regularly.
Yeah,
scheduled
sorry, I didn't mean to
programming.
interrupt, but we always have
yeah. Man, where do I start? Well, maybe I should ask you guys, what is it? If you could, maybe put together one main point, what is it that draws you to the show? Is it the characters? Is it the plot? Is it the animation for the first 3 seasons? Is it the theme songs? Is it the voice acting? Like, what is it for y'all?
I think for me, it's kind of a combination of the story and the characters. Like the story, like it's crazy because literally from the first episode on, like you're like, wow, this is gonna be grim. Like, so from the very beginning, you understand that this is not like a lighthearted show, but it's gonna have like a lot of tough concepts. It's gonna have a lot of crazy things going on, but like the character development throughout the story is really solid. Like for the most part, like, we've talked on some characters we feel like could be better, but for the most part, character development story is spot on.
Yeah.
Like so that's great. Like the story is fantastic. Like I mean that's why I think it's really great.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback to it. Like they killed people.
Yeah.
Like they killed people
Regularly.
Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Like you know what I mean? Like an anime is a really good anime when they're like you had y'all favorite this character, take it about half a season in, 2 seasons in. You're like, yo, but I thought that was gonna be the person, right? Like the captain who like the father of the group. And you're also like, okay, this guy is going to see it all the way through. He has this he's upright, he's sound.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I love the show. I think they took what we expect from animes. Like they give us certain characters, they help us build those characters for seasons, and you're like, all right, stuff could happen, but I know these characters will be here till the end.
Yeah.
And this show flipped that on its head. It was like, nah, anybody can get it. Like nobody's
Yeah,
safe.
right. Yeah, nobody is safe from that. Yeah. Well, I think too, like you have. This is one of the few shows that's like one of the few shonen shows that like deviates from kind of like the narrative of like, yeah, I get the happy-go-lucky protagonist who like stumbles his way into power and like
none of that.
like there's nobody with like, you know, like a fun backstory where they're like, oh, I want to be the Pirate King, or I want to be the Hokage, or I want to be
There's really no
whatever.
happiness in
No,
this
there's none.
show at all.
Like the very few moments that you get are then later squandered. Like
Yeah.
like Aaron beating the brakes off of Armin in that room.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh
Which is
man,
funny because
y'all
like,
not homies anymore, are you?
and I'll let no talk over Kris, but which is funny because you were in season 1.
Yeah.
And you go to where we are now, you would have never guessed
No,
that would have happened.
No, never.
But you first of all, you would have never thought that Aaron would have went up against anybody in a fist fight off of season 1.
Yeah.
Just because he was so weak. But like beat the brakes off of Armin, like,
Yeah,
like
right.
yo, what? This
Yeah, exactly. Like that was
I was
crazy.
like, I do want to talk about why I'm so pissed off about Armin, but we'll get back to that.
Okay.
I think that for me, for the show, it's not necessarily characters, because I think I find a lot of like about some of the characters, but I think it's plot. Like this whole, even if I don't care for a character, I still enjoy seeing how they play into the story, because I think above all else, like the story is the most important thing. Like it seems like the story is the most important thing if the author characters be damned kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even if they may act outside of what of you bought into them maybe supposed to be acting like. Again, we'll hop back into that. I'm talking about you, Armin. But I think for me it's the plot and the story, because I do like things that are twisty and that subvert your expectations. And stuff. So I think I'd just like to see, because he kind of keeps you on your toes. You don't know what's gonna happen next. So it's like you just gotta watch. It's like watching a car crash, and then it subsequently turning into a fire, and then an explosion, and just death and chaos everywhere.
Yeah, that's definitely another thing. Also, kind of about like what Lance said.
Mm.
Most animes, they'll have like a traumatic experience in the beginning, and then that one experience has shaped their ideology for the rest of the show,
Mhm.
and it kind of gets better. This show, bad shit just keeps happening. It just gets worse and worse and worse.
To everybody.
To everybody, yeah.
That's the one thing I guess, like, too. You know, like it's crazy. You want to feel, and they set it up season 1 and 2. You want to feel sorry for Aaron.
Mhm.
But like you don't have that person that gets all your, like you don't. It's hard.
No.
It's hard. You know, and obviously I had my beef with season, you know, the current season, and then starting off on the other side of the world. And I'm like, nobody cares about what's going on in the Marleya world.
How do you feel about that now, though?
That's what I was about to say. I think my perspective shifted a little bit, because I'm like, this whole thing sucks. I feel sorry for all of y'all. Like, because it ain't, at the end of the day, nobody wins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of, it's like that same grittiness and tone. I think watching a show like this allows you to watch shows like Promised Neverland and not like flinch as much, because you're like, nobody win. Everybody is losing, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the greatest thing about this show is it's the first time I've seen it offer perspective from every viewpoint, regardless if you thought someone was good, bad, or whatever. It has a special way of taking someone that you're like, I despise the Beast Titan for fucking killing all those soldiers and all this stuff, and then it gives you their perspective, and you're like, like I'm not that mad anymore. Like I get where they're coming from. So that's the one thing I really like about the show.
I will say, I like the theme song. I don't like the current theme song.
Some people think that this
You don't
current
like the
one is
current
the
one?
best
I
one.
like
Yeah.
the original
The
one
original, yeah.
that starts
The
out of
original one's
nowhere,
amazing.
goes
Yeah.
into this mad orchestra,
Yeah,
and then it
yeah,
comes out, and
right,
you're
yeah.
like, what just happened?
Yeah, you're
You
like
know?
a whole symphony. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
this
the
one-
first one is like in my opinion, the best one. Current one's real good
without
though.
a doubt.
And then like the current one is
so
also
down.
like it's like all over social media too. Like
It's like dark
TikTok,
It's like dark
like,
Evanescence.
everything.
I don't know if I like. I don't know if I like. It's not a bop like the first one was. It's not bad, but it's not a bop like the first one.
I
was.
liked the outro
Evanescence.
better because I think people were like, oh, the intro sounds like that because it's supposed to fit what the season's like or whatever. And I was like, I get what they were trying to do. I haven't drunk the Kool-Aid on it though. But I do like the ending song because that one really does feel like it feels like this season that kind of like because it's got like the colors and liquid and stuff or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, no, this feels like, yes, it's all trippy and it's gone to Bizarro world essentially for the whole
All right. So now let me ask, what is it that you don't like about the show? Or what is it about the show that you would change? Should I just hand this whole segment over to Kris?
Is it my turn? No, I'm
Chris
just
is
kidding.
the spotlight.
Oy vey. Well, y'all go first. Am I the only person that has
No,
issues?
I have
No.
things.
Okay. I think for me, what it's starting to feel like is that the author wrote the ending, and the ending has to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The author wrote an ending for the show, and it
Like
has
he
to
started
happen
with
At all
the
costs.
started with
at
the
all
end in
costs.
mind. You know,
Right.
like
So it's kind of like there's certain things about what's happening in this chapter that I'm like, I don't know that the story that he built, especially in season 3, was heading here. But because the ending was already determined, he had to make season 3 become season 4, if that makes sense. So there's all these loose ends that I'm like, maybe there's one chapter left and we're far into whatever the last chapter is. And so I'm kind of trying to figure out how he could conceivably even wrap some of those storylines. The idea of like Mikasa and her whole lineage thing literally doesn't matter at all. They don't matter at all.
Yeah.
Falco has been kind of like the person you're looking at, and I don't know whether or not it's his gaze that's supposed to be important in season 4 or if he himself is important, but he's been unimportant. So, and I'm like, maybe they twist that because he's got all the Titan shit in him and stuff now. So like maybe they'll twist that and it'll become kind of like he is important. We haven't been looking at him in the intro for an entire season for no reason. So there's like little things like that I'm just like, that they never made it make sense. And because they're kind of where they are now, I'm like, I don't know how the author's ever gonna go back to those things and tie up those loose ends. Because some stuff he presented and it just don't matter. None of it matters at all. Also, the memories thing is killing me.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
I mean,
at all.
it
only works for like one person or two people.
What do you mean? Like it doesn't make sense?
I think
You're talking about the memories that are passed down through like the Titan lineage, right? Like
yeah. My thing with, and maybe I'm getting more into like theory territory, is that the audacity of that nigga to say that the memories are affecting Armin, but he's somehow been set free from his memories, even though the memories that he's gained are driving the actions that he's doing now.
That's what I'm saying.
And he ended up with the same mentality that the king had about the Eldians, probably because he gained the memories of all the other founding Titans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, time out.
So that's not exactly.
Because that's not my understanding.
Yeah,
of how
no,
the
it-
memories
no.
work. I thought you just.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I thought you just get the memories of the Titan you inherited.
Right, but what he was saying
You
to
do-
Armin was that
yeah.
you act the way you act because of because half of who we are is our memories.
Yeah.
And you are behaving the way you're behaving because you have Berthold's memories.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Which
that.
totally is, obviously it's not 100% true. I'm still working out how I feel about Aaron's whole speech to his friends. But it's like he tells him that, but then his actions seem to be driven by knowledge that he's gained from inheriting the Titans that he has.
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, I think in general, like, it's interesting to me because you have kind of an interesting blending of, like, that idea that their memories, like, you have somebody else's memories in your head,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then how do those memories affect how you act?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this, you know, you brought up the example of Armin and Bertolt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, there's that scene where, like, Armin's in the basement with Annie, like, talking to Annie and trying to get her to talk to him.
Yeah.
You know, and then Aaron challenges him. He's like, well, why were you in the basement talking to Annie? Like, you didn't have any feelings for her. That was Bertolt. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and so, but to me, it's interesting, you know, when you talk about, like, Aaron and how he came to the same conclusion as the Kings, like, in some respect, his end goal is different, though, because the King's end goal was just to preserve Paradise,
Well,
like, preserve the peace.
I
like,
think that's where I got a different interpretation of the King's thing. The king, from my understanding, the king wanted to preserve their stuff, and he threatened the war, like he threatened to retaliate with the colossal titans in the walls.
yeah, the
if
rumbling,
anyone
yeah.
ever came, but he had no intention of ever fighting back. His
Right.
intention was that if people sought retaliation against the Eldians, that all the Eldians would die.
Yeah, because he said he wouldn't fight back.
Because he wouldn't fight back,
that
even
would
if
be
they
the
came to the island.
atonement for
So
what
the
they did.
king's intention was that we deserve to die, and if anybody wants to kill us, have at us. And now the two brothers' conclusion has been that the Eldian race needs to die off. Like they're at the same place.
I don't think it's the same.
No,
Like,
just
because I mean, you know, Aaron and Zeke, like, they could have been good enough with leaving it alone. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
like, you know, if we're going down that avenue, and, you know, the memories of the king through the founding Titan is getting Aaron to follow their train of thought, where, like, hey, let's separate ourselves until they attack. Like, you know, and Marley's attack, you know, could have, you know, if what you're saying is true, like, that could have been the catalyst for him to be like, okay, well, we're all gonna die anyway, so let's just let them kill us all off. Yeah. But, like, that wasn't his mentality. His mentality was, let's take the fight to them, let's kill all of them. Like, and then so that's when he attacked Marley, you know, and then now his idea is, okay, we're gonna euthanize the Eldian race, and, you know, we're gonna change everything. But, like, he's still fighting, like, everyone. Like, he's still fighting Marley, he's still fighting, you know, the people on Paradise that are not following his ideology. Like, he's fighting everybody right now to follow through with the plan. The king, I feel like the founding Titans of the past would have probably just rolled over and not fought.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of what I got out of, like, their ideology of, like, don't come for us or we'll release the rumbling. Like, was like, oh, this is my last trump card, but, like, I'm not really prepared to use it. Like, Aaron is prepared to use whatever he's got. Like, Aaron is going to fight to his last dying breath. Yeah. Literally, metaphorically.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's still kind of the same, because it's like there's still, the king didn't tell the people that his intention was for the Eldians to die. He told them that if they ever tried it, he would release the Titans on them. So it's still this kind of like, we're pretending like we will kill everybody, but we're really just trying to kill ourselves. Do you know what I mean? That's how it feels, where I'm kind of like, you got to the same place. You trying to off your own people. Like,
I think part of my issue is that the memories, and unless the manga is completely different, in the anime, the memories don't serve a true purpose. I thought that you get these memories, you're going to not grant, other than like Aaron. I think the memories affected Aaron in a different way than anybody else, but it doesn't change. It doesn't do much other than make him crazy, and everybody else is just going along with the storyline based off of Aaron's revelation from his different memories and his conversation with Zeke. And that's what I think. I'm like, I thought that more would have happened if that's the case. If these memories were supposed to be, everybody's supposed to be eating Titans, getting their memories. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's my issue too, like with that part. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, Because, I mean, they get their memories, but I don't feel like they have exactly the same motivations once they receive. Because, like, with Armin and Bertolt, they try and, like, do this thing where you're like, oh, well, they're kind of blending into a single entity, kind of. But, like, it's not the case for everybody. It could just be because Armin's a little hoe and he's weak. And he's weak-willed, but, like, and Bertolt's memories are just kind of taking over a little bit.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like in the other cases, like, they have their own motivations for what they're doing, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with their memories. It's just because Aaron reacts very negatively to his own to the memories that he receives. Of his dad killing the entire royal family. Like he was like, wow, my dad was a scumbag. Like, wow, he killed women and children.
Yeah.
Right.
But then like he comes to a different understanding later where he's like, okay, well, actually, like that needed to happen. And
but
so
is that him understanding his dad, or is that him being affected by the memories of his dad?
I think both, because I think on the one hand you have all this buildup at the beginning of the show where like his dad, the basement, like his dad left. He didn't know what happened to his dad. Like, he didn't like
that was so
he didn't have anything.
Not even needing the fucking
He didn't
basement.
have any, but I mean, but the basement was the catalyst to him remembering his memories about him killing his dad and eating his dad.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't remember that before going to the basement. Like, that triggered his memories.
You don't feel like he would have remembered eventually?
I mean, he might have, but, like, the basement at that point was the catalyst for that happening.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, there's no other trigger
that would have jogged
that
his memory.
that would have jogged that memory that the story has come up with.
How
like,
would his dad even know that would be the thing that would jog his memory?
Maybe he didn't though. Maybe,
it's possible he didn't. Yeah.
Maybe he just did that to be like, even if it doesn't trigger his memory, this is just information.
Yeah, this is the world. This is what. Yeah, this is the world history.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's going on. Like, this is the true history.
Too, because it was like nobody's gonna believe my shit ass little kid about what the world is actually like.
Exactly.
I need evidence, kind of thing.
Well, also too, I mean, you look at the way he raised Zeke, and you look at the way he raised Aaron.
Yeah.
This information he forced on Zeke. This information for Aaron, he left it so Aaron could find it for himself.
Right. Exactly. And then by the time Aaron found it, he had formed his own opinions.
Yep.
And then with new information, he formed his own ideas.
Yeah.
Versus Zeke, where he was basically indoctrinated, and then he chose something. He chose a different path, basically.
Yeah. Y'all, do y'all think that? So you talk about Armin.
Oh yeah.
So
we
like,
didn't get on my
so
issues at all.
I started this season with Gabby as the worst. And then like I felt really good. Like episode 14?
Which one?
When she found out that the people that was like allowing her to stay there and stuff like that she killed their daughter.
Oh yeah.
And then when she had this super duper reveal in like episode 15 about like, oh wait, this don't mean nothing. Like,
y'all ain't even that mad.
You could tell if Peak hadn't shown up, she would have turned.
Yeah, I think so.
Gabby would have turned.
I think so.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think, and so with that changes the look. That changes the rankings for the most irritating character in the show. Because, like I said, I had Gabby strong in like episode 1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Actually, when they went to Paradise, I was like, I still hate her. And then you see Armin, who's like, he has a really cool moment first couple episodes, and then kind of sucks for the rest of the season.
I mean, Armin's whole thing is like
wasted potential.
He is like he's Gohan. He's literally Gohan. Like he had, because like he had that whole moment where he like his brave sacrifice got burnt to a piece of charcoal, and then they had to decide him or Erwin.
Before that, when during the Kenny arc where he had to kill that person,
right,
he was like, I killed someone. I thought like that's a checkpoint. Now you can start being a badass. You start just owning up to it, and he never did.
And my thing is, I don't mind him being like the sympathetic character. I don't mind him being a soft Falco, right? I don't mind him being like, this is wrong.
Wait, you think Falco hard?
Way. No, I think Falco's harder than Armin.
Yeah, and everybody
which is not hard to beat.
Yeah.
But I don't mind him being the guy that's kind of like, there's got to be a better way to do this. I don't really like killing people. Here's my issue.
Which is ironic.
Armin is supposed to be a genius.
Yeah.
The genius of the show died because he believed that Armin was a genius, and he had great potential that has not been realized. And you cannot tell me that this boy is supposed to be a genius and is getting played by Aaron.
Right.
Aaron,
who's a dumbass.
Under no circumstances is a mastermind.
Wait. Time
Well,
out.
I was like,
Wait,
hold
time-
on now.
Whoa.
That changed.
Whoa.
There was a
That
change.
changed because maybe he developed some agents from the Titans that he ate.
No,
Because
I think
Aaron, there was
no, I think
there's no sign of smart in
the
Aaron
difference is Aaron is
before.
Aaron's ruthless and he doesn't
Yeah.
care. Like he doesn't have any sympathy left. Like so the end goal, the means don't matter to Aaron. It's the end goal.
Do
That's
you
it.
think that's what's throwing Armin?
I think so, yeah.
Because Armin has a realization in season 3 that never pans out to anything. That in order to beat a monster, you have to become a monster, right? He has this whole moment,
Aaron's always
a whole
understood
moment
that.
they
You're right,
wasted our
right.
time on for him to come to the realization that to beat a monster, you have to be a monster, and he still can't keep up with Aaron.
What?
He
That's it.
still can't keep up
So
with Aaron.
Here's
Yeah.
here's the thing about Aaron, because I'm team Aaron along the lines. What every time I always have this like discussion with people, they're like, what's going on with Aaron, this and that, whatever. I'm like, all right, I'm under the impression that Aaron is like 20 steps ahead of everyone, because if he has the memories of all the founding Titans,
Mm-hmm.
that must mean he has the memories of the first founding Titan.
Yeah.
So I think with that knowledge surpasses anything that any of us know, any of the characters, the world.
Yeah.
He has like, omnipotent knowledge. He just he just knows things that we probably won't even be able to understand.
Yeah.
And I think he's acting on those things and doing exactly what needs to happen
Yeah.
for those goals to be realized, which involve turning on his friends.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a huger
Yeah.
there's a way huger
Yeah.
goal in mind.
And I'll add to that because I think once we talked about this like a couple shows ago, but it's when Aaron had a moment. I want to say season 3. Aaron had a moment where he was like, "I ain't nothing. I'm not tough. I thought I was important. I'm nobody in this entire thing." I think that nobody else had that moment.
Yeah.
Nobody else in the entire show had that moment except for him because they kept telling you special.
Well,
You're
Armin has that
special,
moment
Aaron.
every time we see him.
Right, but like, but I feel like once that clicked,
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh," and then I think all those other things like went after that. And then he kind of was able to process decisions a little bit differently than everybody else.
Yeah.
Because I still think everybody else maybe think that they're special or that they're doing something for a purpose. And Aaron's like, "Look, none of this matters.
Yeah.
None of this matters.
Yeah.
It never mattered."
And I think too, on top of that, and this is just real quick, but kind of building off what you said, Hakim, on top of not only like the memories and like being able to like think a couple steps ahead, he's been literally planning this for years, like a couple years.
Yeah.
Like there's that time skip, and he's been in Marley for they don't even tell you how long he was in Marley.
Right.
No, we just see mad facial
Yeah,
hair.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so he's literally been planning this for God knows how long, and nobody knew except for Zeke and a few other people what was going on. And Yelena. That was it. Like nobody, not Armin, Mikasa, nobody on Paradise knew what was going on.
Yeah.
So like when they attacked Marley, they had no idea what Aaron's plan was.
Yeah.
Like they had zero idea. At the beginning, they barely even knew. I mean, they knew what was going to go down, but they didn't know what he had planned. So like
Which makes it even cooler once you those first couple of episodes happen. You're like, "Oh, okay, it was coordinated."
Yeah,
And then like,
he's
what
way
did you
ahead.
do?
Yeah.
And then, like, I knew y'all was gonna come. But I
Yeah,
knew this was
exactly.
gonna happen. Like,
He's already way ahead of
He
them.
kills the shit out of in this last episode. Here's my thing. Here's what I'm holding out hope for. And I've told you about this, but what I'm holding out hope for is that Aaron is trolling. And that
Wait, trolling who?
trolling his people.
Trolling Armin
Specifically
and Mikasa.
Aaron and Mikasa.
He's not.
right?
Okay.
That's some hard trolling.
What I'm saying is no, in the
Yeah,
sense
right.
of
Trolling.
in the sense of
I don't
like
think he is
He's
either.
not.
I need you to
I'll let you-
hate
I know
me so you'll
he's not.
kill me later. You know what I mean? Maybe his knowledge of having the first founding titan is knowing that the founding titan needs to die in order for like the world to be fixed.
The problem is though with
and he
the
knows that the two of them have to kill him.
with the Titan mythos though, like even if he dies and nobody inherits the Titan, it'll just be
It'll go
reborn
to someone else.
somewhere down the line.
They don't
Because that's
explain
that's
that
the
in
whole. Yeah, they
show.
do.
Do they?
Yeah, and it's not a very big moment, and it's somewhere in one of the middle seasons. But like they
It's
go
probably in
over.
season 2, 'cause
It's
that
probably in
was
the
a rough-
flashback when they talk about the history.
This season,
Back
what's that?
to-
They
season
talk about
3?
the history.
Yeah, they go through the whole history
Because
Okay,
when they're
okay.
talking about like the subjects of Ymir and like the war with
Yeah.
Marley, they talk about how they started turning the Titans into weapons against the
Yeah.
Eldians because they're like, well, if we have the Titans, we can control who has them.
Yeah.
Versus if we just kill them, they'll be reborn later and we won't know who they are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So literally, if you kill any of like the 9 Titans,
Yeah.
they'll just be reborn later in a random Eldian.
So then I have a quick I need a history lesson kind of thing about the Titans in particular. There's the moment that with Ymir, now obviously the legend is different than the actual history of however this all happened, especially with I got spoiled about something with the walls and the names and stuff.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
Okay. So in any case, though,
You manga
in the
readers.
legend,
God damn.
I'm just saying.
She hasn't
Can't
even read
live.
it.
I haven't read it.
She
I
hasn't
got
even read it.
spoiled.
I think I got spoiled with something that said.
Yeah, right.
Let me tell you the
I think
spoiler.
it was talking about so the legend talks about Ymir creating the Titans like of herself kind of thing, and I'm wondering at what point is it like, because it's like those were pure spinal fluid babies and the rest of them are like it like had to inject it some other type of way. What is the difference between her creating the main Titans, like the whatever 7, 9, however many there are, and the rest of the Titans that seem to be made from the same thing? Does that make sense?
Like, why is there a difference between smart ones and dumb
yeah,
ones?
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
is that I can't remember if that's because since I missed the born moment, maybe I missed this moment too, because it's a question that
Yeah,
I've been
I don't
having
remember
in my
honestly.
head.
I don't know if they went into that, like why they were different. I'm sure they
Wow.
probably did, maybe.
Well,
When they were going
it
through the
didn't
history,
even
but,
need to, because
yeah,
that doesn't make
I don't know.
sense.
I don't know.
Okay, we talked about what we didn't like.
Well, just I talked about what I didn't like. Did anybody else?
Yeah, I
talk
mean, we
about
turned. I didn't
Yeah.
like. I thought Armin had the most wasted potential.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
okay.
he had two. He had the potential to be the most hated character,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then he could have become the most loved character.
Yeah.
One other thing I didn't like, and this is about a character that I love, Captain Levi.
Yo.
Captain Levi is the only character in this entire show with no character arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
Not
soon as
one,
he
not
comes
at
in the
all.
show, he's exactly the same
Yeah.
throughout the entire show. There's a little piece of it in the end where, in the last couple episodes, where he says like, "Dang, did I make a mistake by always saving Aaron? Like I thought we all
Yeah.
thought he was special."
Yeah.
That was the only internal moment
He
we've
gets so
ever
mad
seen.
carrying Zeke through the forest. Like, can't believe this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like what I get myself into.
Yeah, but
I-
he has
I
no
mean, to
character
be fair though,
development.
he's 3-0 against the Beast Titans. So
No,
he is. No, he is.
So,
Zeke hates to see him.
I mean,
Zeke
My
Zeke,
thing is,
yeah.
like, I don't know why Zeke thought that he had the one up like at any point.
He
Like
said-
nothing,
he turned-
nothing in the past
listen,
indicated that you was gonna go with the dub.
I cannot believe he turned every time. Oh, I can't believe he did that shit.
Yeah.
And then had the
Yeah, that was
audacity.
messed up,
Running through the forest. I was like,
No.
I
What's
was
even-
baffled.
What's
As
even worse?
was Levi. He was like, this motherfucker.
No, what was even
Like-
worse is his little mini speech to Aaron as he was running away. And then Levi like, where are you going? Like,
Yeah, right. Where you
tell
think
us
you
so
going, bro?
When we meet again, all right. We'll
Bro,
see.
the craziest thing, like with Zeke and Levi's relationship, like, because it is a relationship. Like, literally, at this point, like it's a relationship. Like
Oh,
they've spent
man.
significant amount of time together. It's crazy because after all this, Zeke has everything so calculated, like down to
Yeah.
the finest detail, and the only miscalculation he makes at all is Levi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Levi is his only miscalculation
Yeah.
because he thinks that Levi will falter when he turns all of his squad
He
into
thinks
Titans.
that's his trump card.
Yeah, he thinks that's his trump card. He's like, oh well, nobody's
He's
that
relying
inhumane
too heavily
that they
on
would
that
kill their
sense.
entire squad.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Now, although he just never had a character arc, one thing that we always know about Levi, he's always gonna get the mission done.
Yeah,
Why would you think he would
he
change
thinks
it?
super logically. Like you get brief moments like when they're at their base or whatever, and they're all cleaning, and they're like, oh well, Levi's kind of a clean freak. Like you get like little moments with his interaction with his squad where you can tell that they're very important to him.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like he lets all of them die trying to save Aaron.
Yeah.
Like in that original, that was the second season.
which
He literally lets all of them
that he
die to
regrets
save
now.
Aaron. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the second time around, like Zeke should have known that. Like he should have known, okay, well, when Annie was chasing them, like Zeke literally, or not, Levi literally sacrificed his entire squad to keep Aaron away from Annie.
Yeah.
Like, why did he not think he would do that again to keep him under wraps? Like, that's what I don't get. Like,
I think my thing with Levi is like, you understand from the story that he's older, or at least much older in his career. And I think of being a scout as like a basketball career where you can't, like, you're not surviving forever doing that shit. But for me, because I think of him as older and more established, I don't need him to necessarily change as dramatically as the people that we see as children. Like you expect to see Aaron and Mikasa and Armin change like drastically from the time that we start seeing them to the time that to where they are now. But Levi is significantly older and he's been doing it for a lot longer. So I always think of him more as like a sensei-ish type of character, the character that just always knows what they're doing, if that makes sense.
But the thing is, you could say the same thing about Commander Irvin, because Commander Irvin was that same type of person, but he even had depth because it was about his father and figuring out if his father was right or wrong.
Right.
My beef with Levi's character is there is no why.
There's no why. Okay.
There is no reason he does or is how he is.
Because I was gonna say,
because
he
even
doesn't necessarily develop, but they do explain his why.
Well, I think they do a better job with Mikasa, like in doing that, and they same family. It's not. I guess I don't.
Is Aaron.
Say what?
I said her why is Aaron.
Yeah,
but she does have a why.
That's what I'm saying. And they talk about it, and they. I don't know. My whole I was raised by an assassin and I'm just the bad. Like that's not gonna cut it for me, bro. Like little depth, but like I'm cool with it in comparison to like other stories. I don't think he's like. You know
what it is? I think I like about Levi, because I'm trying to like put my finger on him. Like, why do I find him compelling? It's because
he never smiles.
Ever. It's because it's the same thing that makes Gon compelling in Hunter x Hunter to me. The thing and it's funny because Killua has a moment where he explains it's about Gon. Gon has he does not have a defined moral compass. There's no real right or wrong. And Levi has that moment in Attack on Titan 2 where they're in the forest and they're talking about trusting your comrades, all that kind of stuff or whatever. And Aaron comes up to him later, and then probably part of the reason why Aaron ends up with the ideology he has is because of this conversation too. But he was like, basically like, man, I'm glad I listened to you and did that because the other thing would have been the wrong thing. And Levi's like, not necessarily. Right. He was like, they're like, either decision, I mean, it would have worked out however it worked out. We have no way of knowing what the right decision in any circumstance is going to be. And that's kind of like his mentality throughout. That's why he can do something like kill all his comrades that turn into Titans, because it's like, either I kill them or let them kill me because they're no longer who they were. They're Titans now. He has a moment where he feels sorry that they're turned into Titans, but it's like, we're here now. Whatever was right or wrong or what should have happened or could have happened doesn't matter. This is the reality. And I think that's what I like about him, is that he doesn't deal in ideology. He doesn't deal in ideals. He doesn't deal in optimism. He deals with realism, with what he can tangibly deal with.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because you see the other captains, they actually wrestle with that, right? That's part of the reason why the Jaegerists get to take over because you see these people trying to figure out you know, whereas Levi's like, all right, what's next?
They
They
beat the shit out of that Captain
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
He said,
It's like if you we jumping this nigga.
there's no match for me. All right.
He thought he was real sweet too for a second. They beat the brakes off of him. Like,
you know,
if it wasn't that, if it was 1v1s,
yeah, he would have. Yeah,
for sure.
He'd have held his own. But
but
21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
You know it was real when they do the fist clench thing. They did the little Arthur.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of messed up. Like Flock's character to me is crazy.
Damn,
he's crazy because he goes from like when you're first introduced to his character, like he is such a little bee, bro. And then he joins the Scouts. Literally, is the only person that survives the Beast Titans' original appearance. Him and Levi, the only people that survive. And then afterwards, he like goes hardcore off the deep end, like for Eren. Like he's all in, like he's like gung ho, right hand man.
Wrong.
Yes.
Because what?
Flock
He hasn't
ain't
been wrong.
That's why I hate him. Because he ain't been wrong. Because he was the one that said, "Y'all dumb mother." Why
that's
would
true,
you give him the Colossal Titan? That literally
that's true.
doesn't make any sense.
I still stand behind that. If Commander would have had the Colossal Titan, we wouldn't even be here.
Yeah. He and like he's jumped on the. I don't know if he knows about the whole no more babies situation.
Yeah.
I think at this
I
point
feel like
he
doesn't
knows.
know.
You don't think he knows?
No,
I don't
feel
think
like he
any of
doesn't
the
know.
Jaegerists know that. It seems like it's a big
what's
secret
the name
between
told,
the three of them. Because she told whatchamacallit and them, oh no.
He wasn't.
Oh no,
Aaron
but she
told...
killed that boy before she revealed. No. She killed him after he showed his xenophobia.
Oh,
does everybody know?
I
don't know.
Personally, I
know?
think I don't know for a fact. I'd have to go back and check. I think they know.
Okay.
Like I think they know. Because at that point, like this is the whole point of Eren's plan is literally, hey, we're gonna euthanize the entire race.
No, Flock is real though. I ain't gonna.
Yeah, he ain't been wrong.
No, like Flock is he's ride or die at this point. Like,
I hate him though.
Yeah, I mean everybody. I mean they designed his character to hate him. Yeah, right, exactly.
Do you like anybody though? That's my thing. Because when I
like
look at the entire show, I don't necessarily like. I think honestly, personal favorite is always Eren because he's consistent now. And all his all his moves, but like the show is not created for you to necessarily
get attached to a
anybody
character.
for their moral choices that they made throughout the entire show.
I think I like Levi, and I have grown to like Zeke, which is
I like Zeke a lot.
Zeke is consistent. That's also which is why
I think seeing his backstory made me like him more because before seeing his backstory, the perspective you get of Zeke from the story that Eren relays to everybody is that Zeke is a snitch.
Right.
You don't learn about Zeke's motivation for calling his parents in until they do his backstory in the more recent episodes. So before that moment, I was like, oh, this little punk ass bitch sold his parents out. Like that was my attitude about him. I didn't care how smart he was.
Yeah.
But now that I understand him a little bit more with his backstory, I am liking him better now.
You think he was right to sell his parents out?
Hell no.
There was no other way he could have proceeded though. Like, because I mean, you think about it, like his motivation for selling out his parents was literally to get ahead and become the candidate for a Titan, for one of the Titans, for the Beast Titan.
Because there was no other way.
Because he wasn't physically capable. He wasn't mentally capable. Like he had nothing going for him.
Then do you think it's because he has that moment where he says, thanks Dad, about the guy that had the Beast Titan before him.
What? Yeah, which I think, which is interesting because when they're doing the whole Marley backstory and they're doing, Zeke's upbringing and they're talking about how, his dad was like, just super like pigeonholed on like, hey, we're the restorationists, this and this and this. This is our agenda. And like he was not a father to Zeke. Like like Zeke was literally a tool that he was raising for his purposes. And then when Zeke found out, of course he rebelled. And then I don't remember his name, but like the guy, I don't remember his name, but the guy that the Beast Titan that he inherited from, like he basically took him under his wing and was like, hey, like I get the pain you're feeling, like I completely understand you. And he kind of took him under his wing. Like he started throwing the baseball around with him, and he basically became like his protege, kind of, without him officially being the protege for the Titan, like as a candidate for the Titan. Like he became like a surrogate son, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Cassava found a son in Zeke, where Zeke found a father in him.
Yeah.
But I still do feel like, although, I can stand with Zeke now, kind of, I do still feel like he was a bitch for telling on his parents.
Yeah, for sure.
Because at that
I still
point,
don't think
he hadn't developed the ideology that he could solve the world's problems.
Yeah, it
he
was fear driven.
He was a kid, and it was fear driven.
And I feel like part of the reason why he did it is because his newfound father figure told him that was the
he told him
thing
to,
do.
Yeah.
He's still a little bitch,
Which,
but that's
I mean,
okay.
at the
like
end of the
him
day,
more
like
now.
it was another, we're talking about like the Eldians and Marley being indoctrinated and kind of brainwashed to a degree. Like that was part of it. That was like, hey, this is the way to get ahead in Marley. Like you have to become a Titan, then you'll be an honorary Marlin with your family. Like, and
honorary Marlin.
That title, like,
listen,
honorary.
but Peak spoke facts when she was like, "They're gonna kill us anyway."
Right.
Once
yeah,
they
but
get
she
on
didn't
the
mean
Titan-
it though.
But the thing is
she
that
meant
she
it,
did
but
mean it.
She didn't.
Did you know?
Because after the thing, she was like, "Nah, I don't trust Marley, but these my
point,
niggas."
Right at this point, because
I'm not
been
gonna.
here.
I'm not gonna let them.
But
go
they're
out like
Marley.
that.
That's still
So-
backwards, though.
Yeah,
like,
it
why
is, right.
Why are you still fighting for him?
Right.
Because you ain't. I mean, everybody's got that one family member that be on some bullshit, but I
mean, you think
what
about
you
it
gonna
though.
do?
At that point, what you're talking about with Peak and what happened with
Mm-hmm.
her and Gabby and everything, and her pointing out Aaron, like at that point, Aaron had literally wiped out 99% of the infrastructure in Marley.
Yeah.
With his attack.
Yeah.
Like all of the ruling elite, all of the military elite,
Yeah.
like the Eldians, like the Titans in Marley, could literally have taken over at that point
Yeah.
Yeah.
and freed themselves.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for them to keep fighting for Marley. Like, because they literally could have had freedom at that point.
Yeah.
Because Aaron wiped literally the
Maybe
command
that's the
structure
point.
out.
Well, but he tore it up from the Eldian compound though. So he didn't just kill all of their military elite. He destroyed a civilian town of Eldians.
Yeah.
So as much as he destroyed their infrastructure, he also destroyed any fighting force that the Eldians might have had because he killed all them.
But I mean, at that point, like you have the Titans,
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say, they have the Titans,
and you have anti-Titan like technology
like
in Marley.
tip-top.
But it's a classic military tactic. If you take out the command structure, what are the grunts gonna do? Like they're gonna panic. They're not gonna be able to organize. They're not gonna be able to arm themselves accurately. The Titans at that point, like the 5 of them, literally like could have taken over.
Yeah.
With Reiner and Peak and Galliard, like they all literally they could have taken with their smarts, their training, everything. They could have taken over. That could have been a wrap.
Yeah. I suppose they could have.
Because you have a targeted strike. You take out a military compound where you have all their weaponry.
But I guess
you take out
but for her though, the Eldians aren't her only comrades though. Them ain't the only people she's been fighting with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's I think that's why I'm also Team Aaron, right? Because like they have no reason. The Marlies have no real. They don't have an end to whatever's going on. It's just
no,
like
they don't.
And I mean, some of them are coming around to realizing that like part of that Peak and Gabby moment of like, oh, you're right. They just gonna kill us. Y'all have no end in sight to whatever y'all have going on. Where Aaron is like, I'm gonna put an end to everything.
You know what? At what point do you think Zeke composed this plan?
That's a good question because
it
couldn't have been when he was getting his butt whooped by Levi.
Yeah, it couldn't have been before that.
It
had
earlier
to be
on.
after.
I'm guessing
he was like, "Oh, my brother
is the founding Titan." I think that's when it started, probably.
Yeah.
Or did he already have that plan and it didn't matter who had the founding Titan?
I think, and they don't confirm or deny this, but I think that Zeke's plan probably all along was to free the Eldians from Marley. And he needed the founding Titan to do so. And I don't think it mattered who it was, like you said. I don't think it mattered. So I think from the get-go, Zeke is probably, when he inherits the Beast Titan, he's probably already planning.
But the thing is that from his backstory, his plan was never to free them. It was to
Yeah.
free them only after he made sure that they can't reproduce anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he just wants to take, because it's not about. I feel like it's not about freeing the Eldians or having Marley have power. The problem is Titans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the fact that Titans exist.
Yeah.
And I think with him saying, we'll euthanize the Eldians, yeah, it sucks for the Eldians, but I think he was just attacking the problem. And was like, if I just take away this problem by any means, none of these issues
and here's
will
my thing,
be
right? If you can change people's biology to the point that they can't have babies, this is my other issue, I think. Why wouldn't you just change their biology so they can't turn into Titans?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point.
Wouldn't
That's
that
just
be
not
better?
That's part of my
that's
problem.
not a possibility they ever explore. Which with they tell you
It
would
require
make sense.
less death, and it would require, less genocide.
But
no, the problem still remains because Marley, it's not like Marley's going to treat them any different. Like, you're good people now.
Yeah, exactly.
Marley's still going to
That's-
oppress
So
them.
the
That's
only
my next thought,
solution to their problem is for them to no longer exist.
For the
in his mind,
oppression to stop,
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only way.
Is for the Eldians.
Because as
to no
long as
longer
Eldians
exist.
exist,
Yeah.
Marleyans will always
hate them.
hate them.
Well, the whole world will. They did a
Right.
lot of
Yeah.
bad to everybody.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Right, we
It
didn't-
ain't
I
just the
didn't realize that
Marlians
is-
that
They got
hate
nowhere to
them.
go. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody
Oh.
hates them.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yes. Yeah. It's an interesting concept because
because what was the other kid? The kid with the glasses that was getting mad about being treated ill. He came from somewhere else and said that Eldians were treated better in Marley than where he came from. Do y'all remember
Oh,
that?
the other candidate.
The other candidate.
Yeah.
The other kid with the
Udo?
glasses.
Yeah, the one that got crushed.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he's the one. He's the one that got.
He got like trampled.
Yeah, he got trampled.
Yeah.
And he mentions that he had come from somewhere else.
Where it was worse.
And
yeah.
it was they were treated worse there.
It's true.
Damn.
And that's why all of the people that come over from Marley, like Yelena and stuff like that, even agreed to be on Zeke's side and the Eldian side because they knew that they were trying to off themselves.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like Yelena's super hype about the idea of Eldians dying out.
Yeah.
And that's why she's so zealous about helping with the plan, because that means the race of people that have hurt her people will no longer exist.
Yeah. Kind of like everyone wins in a way.
But I mean, obviously, we're waiting on the whole thing because it's going to flip around, right? And that's the whole reason why they have a mid-season finale, because they're like, yeah, this is. I just don't think it ends that way. It doesn't seem like it, but
So okay, so now let's go into those theories. How do you think it'll end?
I think. I mean, I don't know if you get a perfect ending because
I feel like there's no way. There's
no
way to get a
formula
perfect
set up
ending.
for not.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you get an ending in which you have to murder the entire Eldian race or like I don't think the euthanization is how it ends. I think that's the one thing I wish that they just explored a bit more. I know they talk about Titans all the time, but like what you said, the kind of the biology behind what works, what works where. And I feel like that's maybe where they're going to go. And they're going to figure out a smarter way to end it as opposed to just euthanization just seems unintelligent. Yeah. And if I've seen anything in this last 2 seasons, it's been super intelligent, like with the reveals and with the planning on Zeke's part, planning on Aaron's part. I don't see them being like, all right.
Yeah, the reveal of the plan was one of those like, really? Like, I think that was the moment where I was like, all right, what is happening right now?
I think the euthanization plan is genius.
It's not
self-hatred.
Yeah.
It is, but it, like I said, it gets rid of the problem. Like it.
In the basis.
The problem, the basis for all this bullshit is this problem that they're trying to get rid of. It sucks that that's what it is, but
right.
I support the euthanization plan.
I almost spoiled again about the spoil that I got because I was like, I can't say anything about it, but also that makes everything makes way less sense in a general thing, but I won't say anything else about that.
Now, I do have a confession, which I briefly said
Oh,
before we
yeah.
started. And I did the unthinkable. I didn't go and finish the manga.
Well, it's not done yet, but almost.
Yeah, I didn't do that, but I peeked.
At like where it's at right now?
I didn't peek at where it's at.
Oh, okay.
I just peeked a little bit further than where the
Where
anime
the
is.
anime is.
And
You can spoil me. I
no,
don't
no, no,
know.
no, no. I'm not gonna spoil it for
Oh
Lance.
yeah,
like-
Lance Mines. Never mind. Dang it.
Chris,
I saw
Huh?
some.
you're supposed to care about your fellow anime fans.
I saw some shit that gave me anxiety, and I was like, you
That's
know
this
what?
whole show.
I was like, you know what? I would like to experience this in an animated form.
Oh, no,
so I
no.
stopped looking
Fuck
at
that.
it.
I'm finna read it. I'm
Yeah.
finna read
It was some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
So
No, I if we're talking about theories about how we think this is gonna end, I think that it does end in death. Death for everyone. I think
Nuclear.
not nuclear, but I think that they had that line we were talking about where we're talking about there's something about Mikasa and Armin not like protecting them or whatever, right? That's why I've been kind of like, well, maybe it was bullshitting and they need to hate him so that they can kill him and all kind of stuff or whatever. I hope that becomes important. I hope the whole Ymir things becomes more important eventually because Jesus. I hope
like,
Falco.
what the fuck did she do? Like,
Right.
Right.
I'm like, why do you have? Why
What
do you
was she
have?
on?
Why do you have her name? I'm like,
oh wait, you mean Ymir? Like,
yeah.
present
She
day
had her
Ymir.
name. She had all this like intrigue stuff. She could speak a dead language, and people were super confused.
Wait, you're talking
Oh,
about
no, she was a Marleyan.
the founder or
No,
it's
so
talking about dark hair.
the
and
one
Oh,
hair.
yeah,
the
that
one
Ymir,
was
like the one that was in Astoria.
Yeah.
Well, they give you her backstory.
Yeah, she was a Marleyan, and
Yeah.
they put her on the wall. She was an orphan or
Yeah.
abandoned homeless kid. Someone said, "Your name's Ymir."
They
and
turned her
started-
into a prophet, basically,
Yeah.
like
So
And
she
then-
just went by Ymir because of some.
because they
Still
told her that
someone-
she was like the
yeah.
reincarnation of Ymir, basically. Like,
So they did that to like
Yikes.
reinstate the restorationists. They did
Yeah.
that so
Because
that
I was very
Yeah.
disappointed by her character and that whole love arc in a general sense.
I just thought it didn't make sense to me. That's all. I think that was my thing. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't see how you got there.
I didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
Didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I do. I think it ends in. I think it ends in death, and tears, and failure. Is what I think it ends in. I think that the rest of the Eldians that are not hip to the whole idea of, their whole people not existing anymore probably aren't cool with that. I think that Mikasa and Armin end up leading the faction.
You think they actually
And-
are useful after all?
I think Mikasa is going to become useful because did you hear what he said to her?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
I see. I think
Hell
Aaron.
hath no fury.
I think Aaron's
you know?
20 steps ahead. I think it was all for a reason. But I think my gripe with Armin having wasted potential, I still think he can
Be
reach that
redeemed.
pinnacle. I feel like Aaron said all that shit because they're going to have to fight or kill Aaron or something's going to have to happen. I think what's going to happen is Aaron's gonna, I think I told you this, I feel like Aaron's gonna pass down his Titans to Armin, and Armin's gonna like kill himself or something so that let's say they did the euthanization plan, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
They do the euthanization, and then Armin takes all the Titans and then dies. Then they get spread out, and then they just live until those people who have the Titans live for 13 years, and then they die, and then Titans are gone
I had
forever,
an
and no one
idea.
knows what's up.
What if? Because I had the idea that, because that was before I y'all reminded me, or told me something that I missed about the whole them birthing later. Anyway, originally I thought that Aaron was gonna try to ingest all of the Titans and then kill himself to like end everything. That's what I thought when I was in like maybe the early episodes of season 4 before he started
Because you see him
not making
collecting
sense to me
Titans, so you're
anymore.
like,
Yeah. I was like, okay, he's gonna eat all the Titans that exist, and then he's gonna kill himself, and that'll be the end of Titans. Now that I know that's not the case, what if just because he's fucking with us, they do the plan, they kill, they do the euthanization thing or whatever, and then they think they're killing the existing Titans, right? All the existing Titans die because they can't be reborn because nobody's being born. Problem is Helena's pregnant, and Helena ends up birthing Ymir 2.0, and now Titans are reintroduced into the thing, especially because
Historia.
that's what I mean. Historia is pregnant. Historia's baby becomes Ymir 2.0, and all of their great efforts in death mean nothing in the Titans.
I can see them doing that. I can see them doing it. Like,
yeah.
But how would that work?
Well, the thing is, you don't know who Historia's baby daddy is.
Sorry.
You don't know who.
Not Siri. Historia.
Right. You don't know who Historia's baby daddy is. So it's twofold, right? Either her dad is someone foreign, and then that foreign race gets the ability to be able to turn into Titans, and then you create a whole nother problem. Or because that Titan exists, it nullifies what they were trying to do. Or she just becomes Ymir, and she has the ability to create other Titans the same way the original Ymir did.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we have to figure out who the baby daddy is. I feel like the baby daddy could be Aaron.
Yikes! Why would his story?
Because because remember when they were at the council?
Have a moment. They do have a moment.
He was like, I didn't want to say that I saw the memories because I thought you guys would turn her into a Titan and make her eat me.
Yeah.
So he didn't want that for the queen. So he was probably like, "Hey,
she probably appreciated
let
that.
me stick it in."
Nah,
you know.
She was like, that's
get
so
you
sweet.
pregnant now. You're protected for at least 9 months.
Yeah, right.
This is for your better.
And in that time, I'm gonna kill everything.
I'm gonna fuck shit up, and then
You think Historia's in on it?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't think she's that naive.
Maybe Aaron wants to give her the founding Titan. Who knows?
Maybe. Or the baby. Maybe the baby's insurance, that if he does fail, it's his fail safe, right?
Yeah.
Because who knows what happens if you're a person that has Titans in you having kids. Because have there been any people that have done that? So maybe his plan has already failed before it began if that's his baby. Because you're already having a Titan baby.
Well, I mean, you have to think with, going back to the memories, you have to think at this point that through the founding Titans' memories and realistically the memories of Ymir, he has thought of every possibility.
Yeah.
Like, you have to, I mean, despite the fact of who Aaron's character is, like, there has to be some sort of an understanding that Aaron has literally come to the realization that there's one plan that will work. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like, this is
Dr.
what
Strange
this, literally, like, I've seen all 10 million possibilities, and this is the only one that works, that beats Thanos. Like, but no, like, I'm not going to say what I think is going to happen because I'm a lot farther ahead. And I know exactly what's going on. But it does take a really interesting turn that, and Cooper and I talked at length about this, that neither of us thought was going to happen. And it's interesting because it opens up an interesting avenue for him to possibly end it in a way we didn't think he would end it. Or he could just do like a total 180, kind of like he's done in other parts of the story where he's like, psych, and actually we're going to end it this way. Yeah. But it's weird because with there being one chapter left, like, it's crazy. Like, even literally, still, where it's at right now is flipping nuts. Like, it's insane. Like, I can't even say anything else because, I don't want to give a single thing away because it's intense. Yeah. Like, it's super intense. And all I'll say is there's no wasted characters.
Yeah, I don't expect there to be
at this point.
I know everyone's gonna have their moment.
Yeah,
all the Titans, everyone at some point, Annie has to come out of her shell. Like,
I'm waiting for that.
Or maybe
actually.
she gets eaten.
That's another character I like, and I want to know more about. Is Annie?
I think Aaron's
I
gonna
do
eat
like
her.
Annie. You think so?
Yeah, because I feel like Aaron is gonna try to collect all the Titans and then
Yeah,
either pass
and
them
off
off to
himself.
someone or just
If he
you
truly
know.
wants to end the problem, he'll off himself.
If he truly wants to end the problem, he'll
Euthanize everyone
euthanize
and then off
then
himself.
die.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll see.
But you got to make sure everybody else is dead first. And that's where the chaos ensues.
How we looking on time? Should we wrap?
Yeah. Sorry, it died sometime in the last 10 minutes. Oh, you'll just get no video for the YouTube people for like 10 minutes, and then, hey,
We're back.
no, this,
All right.
yeah.
So last final thing. Out of 10 stars, what do you guys give this show?
You mean up to where it is currently, like in the anime,
Just in
or like
general.
in general, the
Just
story in
everything
general?
you've experienced with the show.
I don't know.
I give it an 8. I give it a solid 8. 8.5 maybe even. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I give it a 9 for right now. Just based, like, if the story if they finish the story in a really interesting way, then it's definitely a solid 9.5 or whatnot. But I don't see a lot of flaws in the show. Like, I don't see a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We see, like, characters that's wasted potential and all that stuff, but, like, there's not an anime with this kind of a dark, twisted, off the rails kind of storyline like this one is, at least. Like, and then I don't even think this is technically like a horror anime or anything like that. It's just, shonen or whatnot.
I don't know. I think for me, depending on how this last chapter goes, it'll either be like an 8 or a 9 or like a 5. It's all depending on how he wraps it, because like up to now it's been crazy.
Yeah.
Like even between where the anime leaves off right now and where the manga is, like there's a couple twists, and so like those, to some, I feel like for some people those are great, like they like elevate like the story, and then for other people they're like, well, that like and I'm more of that was kind of stupid genre, but I don't know. Yeah, like I said, for me it'll either be an 8 or a 5 depending on how it ends.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not sure. My instincts want to give it a 10 only because I don't think I can say I've seen an anime that I've enjoyed more.
Yeah.
So I guess by that criteria I'd have to give it a 10. But it's an awesome show. We'll see. I just cross my fingers. I hope it's not one of those things that just falls off at the end. Just
hope it's not Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I just hope it's not.
That was disappointing.
I just hope it doesn't do that. I have faith that it won't, because it's been so good for so long. I don't see how it can just turn to shit, but it's happened before.
It has happened before.
Right? So,
yeah. No, that's fair. Oh man, this was dope. 1 hour and 13 minutes of AOT talk. All spoilers. Just a reminder, if you made it to the end, subscribe, like, to everything. YouTube, Instagram, podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. I think we got like 2 Apple like podcast ratings.
Oh, okay.
We do.
That was cool.
We do.
Yeah.
One of them calls me best girl.
Yes. So add to those. Otherwise, stay colorful. Peace.
Peace.